Hey, what's up? Alice here and welcome to the first video of CompCast channel. In this video, we're gonna talk about black points and I'll show you the ultimate solution to match all your black points in your comps. Welcome to my first video of CompCast channel. And honestly, I recorded this video before, but I forgot to put memory card in my camera. So CompCast channel is not all about Nuke tutorials. However, there will be some tutorials. But my main point is to share real production tips and tricks. But for the rest of the videos, my main goal is to invite VFX professionals, mostly compositors, to share their tips and tricks and stories of their career. So let's jump into today's video. So black point, I believe, is one of the most important part of every VFX shot. And in some production or some companies I worked before, they try to bring black point data into lighting. So the lighting artists decide how they would light a 3D scene with considering the amount of leaf in their black. So this is a plate I'm gonna work with and show the tip I wanna share with you. And the main topic of the tutorial gonna be how to make a multi-gradient. And I explain it later and how it relates to black points and many other cool stuff you can do with it. So that's the plate. It's kind of a long take. So you can download these assets from the Foundry website directly. I put the download link in the description. You're able to download this plate and some other elements, also render elements like this one, deep renders and stuff like that. That's really great with the new Nuke 17 release that people are able to try it using these provided assets. So for a shot like this, it's really difficult to manually tweak the black points. It takes a lot of time and effort for sure, but the idea come to my mind, what if I'm able to neutralize the black points in the entire frame, across all frames as well. And then I add my CG layers or shoot layers and have the black points black. So everything is set. And then after all the layers added and tweaks and stuff, I add back those black leaf that we remove. So the idea is pretty familiar, like a degraining process. We remove the grain. Also what I did here, I remove the grain and pre-comp it. And that's what we do for every VFX shot, even if just painting this lamp here, we need to degrain it, do a comp and add the grain back using the great dust grain tool. Big shout out to Fabian Holz. So the idea is the same, Now, if I'm able to neutralize the blacks, I can add it back again at the end of my comp or at some point of my comp. So yeah, that's the idea. So how I would neutralize my black points. Very familiar way is to use a grade node. Like every other comp treatment, there are tons of ways to do similar thing in Nuke, but maybe a bit different results or different controls you can have over all those approaches. So yeah, using a grade, just choosing a black point here and maybe uncheck your blacks for sure. So that technically should work, but the problem is all the black points are not in the same level in my frame. If you see here, it is super crunchy, super clamped blacks as well. Definitely negative values, I believe. Yeah, negative values. But the pixel or the region I selected is kind of fine. And on the other hand, maybe other blacks are not very, neutralized well. So, it's a good solution, but it's not the ultimate solution I promised in the beginning of the video. So another ways to use a curve tool, all of us work with curve tool. Is super powerful tool. But again, it works based on a selected region. It's not based on all the black points or more selected regions in my entire frame. So now what I need a black points map, something what I just call it right now, black points map, to say, okay, this region of my frame has this amount of blacks. In the center has this amount, which is a bit cooler. Here is a bit warmer. Here is pretty blue. Maybe on the screen is a bit different. And on every corner of my frame. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about a very specific node. We have some IP or in-house tools. At Weta, we have multi-gradient. But we're talking about Nuke vanilla and default Nuke nodes. When I wanted to share something with you in the community, you don't have access to those in-house tools in companies. But all of us have access to inpaint node, for example. So inpaint node, I believe, is the most underrated node in the history of compositing. It's really cool. It's very fast. It does a great job in reproducing gradients and smearing colors and stuff like that. So you can fill a hole, or you can extend some edges, and also you can do multi-gradients, but just need some tweaks. So if I bring in a fresh new inpaint node and plug the source to my plate here, and this is pre-comp denoise plate, so it does nothing because it needs alpha. So now it looks for alpha in the source. So I don't have alpha in the source, but I always prefer to add the alpha to matte because I have more control over it. Now what I'm gonna do, I wanna draw a shape here to see how it works actually. For example, here. If I set this fill region to matte alpha, it actually make a gradient. It's not kind of gradient. Here it shows better, yeah. It makes a gradient, but extended inward to feel the whole actually, or feel the alpha I introduce here. So what if I select the inverted mode, like matte inverted alpha, and ready, boom. Yeah, it makes a gradient and extended outward to fill my entire bounding box, actually, I would say. So it started to get more interesting, yeah? So if I select here, yeah, I have the black point value is scattered all over my frame. So what if I add another black point sample, for example, here, which is way different? And yeah, I have a gradient now, and you can clearly, I hope clearly see the gradient here. Or yeah, let's select some values here. Yeah, now definitely more visible. So, but this is not a black point. So yeah, that's the main idea. So I start selecting more blacks and shadows, and trying to select some values on the edge of my frame. It's more safe to do that, to not get weird values around the frame. What else here? Here as well. Yeah, it kind of fine, I believe. So now this is my blacks map, if I say. So now I can neutralize my plate using a merge node, plugging the A input to input and B to the plate. And now it adds more black, which is, I don't want it for now, but I can set it to from and actually remove this value from my plate. And now I have a neutralized plate in the blacks as well, I mean. And after some tweaks and adding layers and stuff, I can just revert back all those values. So when I from something, I can plus it back again. Yeah, it's like grain. So if I plus it back, yeah, technically should be zero difference. So if I test here, just a difference test, I set it to difference and crank up all these values, and yeah, absolutely 0. So yeah, no difference. So the process works actually. So that's the whole idea. Let's remove this stuff here. So what I did for this shot, I painted some strokes. So you can paint strokes. You can do whatever that has alpha, You can add some flare points if you want to work with points and be able to add tracking point to it. So a flare point, and you can shuffle it to alpha. Then after that, it's better to have very sharp edges here. So 99, 101, something like that. Yeah. So you can add more flare position or points, if you will. So whatever that has alpha, and it doesn't matter. And also I did a very sloppy smart vector to track my scene. The best way is to 3D track it and put everything on the right card in the 3D space. But for now, I just did a smart vector to be able to match these strokes to my plate, which is moving, if you see here. It takes a bit of time for sure. It's smart vector. So I have a moving or dynamic black points map now. And here, just want to explain something. I wanted to challenge the shot, and I added something like a moving mist or moving noise to my plate to mimic a fluctuating polluted light in my plate, to make it even more difficult to match blacks. I hope it's clear what I'm adding here. It's a moving noise, nothing fancy. So yeah, consider this whole part as the plate, yeah, to just make it more difficult to work with. So yeah, I formed this black points map, and then I added, here, let me remove that. I added this car, which clearly doesn't match in every aspect of photography, not lighting wise, not perspective wise, and the size, and not anything. I just did a really quick color match, It still doesn't match, I know. And I added the shadow underneath, just using a rough roto here. And now with this technique, everything is set to black, all my black points. And it's really easy to add shadows. And I'm not worried about the lift I should add after that, because everything on the same level now. And then when I add the black points back again, my shadow sits there, the lift automatically added to my shadow here. So, it's really easy to manage all your shadows and black points. I added the foreground and stuff element on top. That's another tip I usually do this way. I never stencil this alpha from the car layer because I'm not able to edge extend or work with the edges. But now when I add it on top, I'm able to edge extend. So yeah, it's really super important. I usually work in this way. The next layer is just a random element I added to check other part of my black points here. And this is a screen as well. I added a screen on top, and I just reduced the mix to half, or you can plus it over or whatever. And yeah, I added the edge here on back again. So I also use copycat to do some rough roto. I just roto 3 frames, and I feed it through copycat, and it takes around 30 minutes for how many frames? For like 228 frames. And I just half the resolution. So I just set it to half, because it's just a rough roto. I don't need it to work on full resolution. So I can just use the inference node and TVI scale it back to the actual resolution. And this is TVI scale 2, which is insanely fast. It's like you're just previewing your plate even faster. That's crazy. TVI scale was one of the heaviest notes ever made, but now it's like light as a feather. So yeah, and that's how I would add all those layers on top. And this is what I have till this point. All blacks are deep black, absolute zero value. But when I added back that lift, everything sits on the right level. Absolutely matches the original values of the blacks. And no hassle manually matching the black points. And also it's an animated one. You have animated blacks and some moving atmos on top. If you see here, it's a bit hard to follow, but yeah, it's animating. The blacks are moving actually. So yeah, that was the whole tip. And yeah, at the end, adding the grain back on top, and you have your comp ready for QC. Beautiful shadow integration and element integration with zero or very minimal hassle, I would say. And at the end, I just added just random client lot on top to judge my shot. So yeah, that was the whole black point solution I wanted to share with you. I try to use this technique because it's very flexible, especially for the actual production shots. They are not perfectly lit. Everything sits well in the shots. It's not like that. Like the bigger production, the sloppiest plates usually. So yeah, these techniques really help you matching all your black points. Well, that was it. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. If you like the solution, if you have more things to add, more tips and tricks to add, and also like the video if you like it, and share it with your colleagues and VFX supervisors and comp supervisors. Well, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my CompCast channel, which is pretty new in the community. And stay tuned for the upcoming exciting videos. See you in the next.